Just let everybody know that the pollen count is extremely high. And I talked to David Coe, who's been in EMS for 30 years, and we were talking in Rope Drive today, and he said that could cause watering of the eyes. So just let you know, the pollen count is a little high tonight.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I just to let you know, I contributed to that. I cut some onions before I came over for dinner, so that might be part of the contributing factors to that.
Let's keep it lively. All right. All right. Let's open the hearing for fiscal year 26 budget. First, I want to commend our staff, Town Manager Gary Dye, our Public Works Director Wayne Myers, our Clerk Treasurer Dana Magnus, and for putting a tremendous budget together, and for council's input over the last pretty much 4 or 5 months. I think we have gone over that quite a bit. I don't know if anybody wants to highlight anything. Any council members want to say anything during the hearing? Hearing none. Staff, we're good. Public, any comments from the public? If not, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing for fiscal year 26 budget?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to close the hearing for fiscal year 26 budget. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so carried. Now, call to order the Town Council meeting for May 7th, 2025 for the Town of New Windsor. Please rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our meetings are recorded electronically. We go by an agenda. Anyone wishing to have something on the agenda for council discussion should have had it on the last Wednesday of the previous month by 3 o'clock here at Town Hall. Anyone wishing to speak tonight, we ask you to sign over here by our town attorney, Michelle Holstrander, to sign in. At this time, we have a service plaque presentation. Councilman Hall would come forward. Presented to William Hall with appreciation from the Town of New Windsor for your service as councilman from May 2021 till May 2025. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to our community.
I mean, it's a bittersweet moment for me. I know these past 4 years we've gotten a lot done. We've had water crises that we all worked through. The council definitely did work together. We made a lot of progress with all the water projects that we've been doing, and really sustaining the future of the town. Like I said, it's bittersweet for me. I'm going on to spend some more time with my kids, but I will always be in this town. I love this town, and I always will be serving this town in one way or another. So thank you.
Thank you. And will be extremely active in the New Windsor Lions Club. So he's not going to just sit back and not stay involved in the town.
Mayor Root. I'm going to read this so everybody can hear what we put on it. Presented to Neil C. Root with deep appreciation for 33 years of distinguished, generous service and outstanding vision and leadership as town councilman and mayor. Your commitment and passion have improved New Windsor for generations. So Neil's first term on the council was 1979 to 85, then 97 to 2009, and then he was mayor from 2009 to 2021. There was a little break, and then came back 22 to 2005.
Well, I'm very honored. But in what I'm always trying to do is save the town money. and I brought the one back from 4 years ago. And I put in 33 instead of 30, but since you got this, I'll accept it. Thank you very much.
All on heavy.
All right. First, thank you everybody for coming here tonight. It means a lot. Approval of minutes from the April 2nd, 2025 Town Council meeting. Not only does it affect the eyes, it affects the throat. Do I hear approval?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any questions or comments or additions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So carried. Mayor's report. The monthly report is going to be a little brief, but just as meaningful. And then I have a final address as mayor. So if I can get through. But last month, I attended the Francis Scott Key High School Girls Basketball State Championship Recognition Breakfast, where I presented the team with a proclamation and proudly proclaimed April 15, 2025 as Francis Scott Key Eagles Girls Basketball Team Day. So they were, this seems like a minor thing as mayor, but to young adults, I think it meant the world to them because I know one player called your daughter, who's affiliated with the team, and she was just really proud that the team got a proclamation and had the day here in New Windsor. So, it meant a lot to them. So just the little things that you do sometimes might have a big impact. Councilman Huffman, Town Manager Dye, and I met with 5 officials from the State Highway Administration on May 1st to discuss the streetscape project. It was I feel it was a very productive meeting with some new and returning officials on the State Highway Administration team. I feel more confident in the streetscape project than I have in several years. And in case you're wondering what I'm going to be doing outside of being mayor, as most of you know, I'm very active Barry used to be running the ambulance calls and fire calls, but I'm still active in the fire company and in the Lions Club. And I guess I spend more time with the Lions Club. But this past weekend, I'm very proud to say that at the Multiple District 22 Convention, I received the International President's Award. This is the second highest honor bestowed by Lions Club International, ranking just below the Ambassador of Goodwill Award. So I was very proud to have that award given to me. My final address as mayor, and like I said, please just bear with me. As I attend my final town council meeting before retiring as mayor, I reflect with deep gratitude and humility on the incredible journey of serving this town for 33 years. First as a councilman and then as your mayor. It has been a true God-given honor to be part of a family legacy devoted to public service in New Windsor. That legacy includes my great-grandfather, John Hamilton Roop, my grandfather, Howard Clifton Roop, and my father, Howard Castle Roop, who served as councilman and or mayor. I've been proud to carry that torch forward. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working alongside 3 mayors and 26 dedicated council members, each contributing their time, wisdom, and care to our community. Since 2009, New Windsor has received $14 million in grants and supplemental funding. Among the highlights of an average of $875,000 per year include $3.55 million in grants to reduce the wastewater treatment facility loan, reconstruction of College Avenue and Blue Ridge Avenue, lead paint abatement and foundation stabilization at the historic Dillman Inn, water line replacements and sewer line upgrades on College Avenue, Blue Ridge Avenue, Main Street, and High Street, We also received over $600,000 through Maryland program Open Space, helping to enhance our parks and recreation facilities, including Atlee Ridge Park, the Skate Park, Lions Club Park, Main Street Park, War Memorial, Lions Club Ball Field, Fountain Park, and the soon-to-come basketball court at Atlee Ridge. I am especially proud of how aggressive and successful we've been in pursuing and securing grants, a success I believe will continue through the great work of our state-funded circuit rider and our dedicated team of current council members and staff. Together, we've seen major infrastructure upgrades to our streets, water, and sewer systems. In 2013, we signed a water agreement with Lehigh Cement Company to be able to use water from the new Windsor Quarry, a new wastewater treatment plant facility, upgraded sewer pump stations, water tank renovations, new wells, and under the expert leadership of Public Works Director Myers, more efficient water resource management. We've also strengthened our community spirit through new traditions and initiatives that started under my tenure. These include the Mayor on the Square Food Drive, which has donated over 20 tons of food to the New Windsor Food Pantry, as well as moving into our new town hall. Dedicating this very room as a JAG Eco meeting room. And of course, my personal favorite, Music on the Main, which brought Governor Larry Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford to our town. In 2014, we began work with the State Highway Administration on the Streetscape project, a vital effort to revitalize our downtown and improve pedestrian safety. Following recent discussions with State Highway Administration leadership, I'm hopeful this long-awaited project will go out to bid in mid to late 2026. After a phone conversation today with the governor's office, I've been reassured that Governor Moore's office will continue to see that this project continues to move forward. Last year, the town proudly partnered with the New Windsor Fire and Hose Company No. 1 on the Rescue to Residents project, an initiative aimed at supporting and retaining our dedicated volunteer first responders. This project will create two-bedroom apartments within the historic original fire station, providing housing for young volunteers who serve our community and need to be close by to respond quickly to emergency calls. This innovative effort not only strengthens public safety, but also reinforces our commitment to those who selflessly protect our town. I anticipate construction to begin in the coming months. When I was elected in 2009, I brought a vision of growth and revitalization centered on our historic downtown and the Dillman Inn. While some aspects remain works in progress, I'm confident we've planted the seeds for that vision to flourish in the years ahead. I typically avoid singling people out. It'd be better if I say all this in one sentence. I typically avoid singling people out, but there are a few I must thank. My wife, Sina, for her unwavering support. Thank you. Clerk Treasurer Donna Alban and Dana Magnus. Town managers Frank Schaefer and Gary Dye Jr. Council members Kevin Nall and Ed Paulsgrove from my earlier days as mayor. And Kimberly Schultz, Dave Huffman, and Kevin Cornick, with whom I have collaborated more in the past 3 years as I prepared to step down as mayor. To the residents of New Windsor, thank you for your trust, for the trust and honor of allowing me to serve you. I hope you've seen the love I hold for this town and each of you through my actions and leadership. I retire with the humble belief that New Windsor is in a better place today than when I began this journey 16 years ago as your mayor. Thank you, and may God bless our country and the town of New Windsor. Hopefully the pollen count. So, thank you, everybody. It means a lot. Thank you. Council committees. Community Enhancement, Councilwoman Schultz.
Hey, everyone. I had this a little bit longer on my report, but as I thought about it, I think I'm gonna change it to a work session item. Just an update that I had met with staff and also talked to Councilman Huffman because of being involved with Public Works about the idea of getting some planters that we could have flowers in along the main roads of town. There's obstacles to that. One is that, you know, they have to be maintained, so we have to talk about that. But I would like to continue to talk about it. I think it would beautify the downtown. And I'm also gonna, if the council is supportive of us talking about this at a work session, I'm also going to explore next year, see if I can get some organizations in town or even individuals to sponsor a planter. So is that something that folks would consider talking about at a work session?
I think it would be great at the next work session.
He won't be here. Just a reminder that Town Beautification Day is this Saturday, May 10th. Thank you, Clerk Mangus, for catching my typo, which said it was on a Monday. I don't know what I was thinking. We're going to be meeting here at Town Hall at 8 o'clock. This has been rescheduled twice because of rain, or we were afraid it was going to rain. And we'll wrap up around noon. This is a great chance for folks to help beautify their town, get involved, and students can get community service hours. I don't know that we have enough hand tools to go around, so please bring your own and some gloves if you like to wear gloves. I just wanted to point out that New Windsor Museum was among the Carroll County museums highlighted this week by the Carroll County Tourism Office on their website and social media, where they, for some reason, they picked museums, but that's great. We get some attention. And then last, Memorial Day snuck up on me. It's May, and Clerk Magus let me know that with the Hurricane Anne Marie, we're going to get us a new wreath for the park over here. But if anybody would like to approach me later, or any of my colleagues, to come up with maybe something we could actually do that weekend, and as part, maybe a little ceremony, I would love to have some suggestions. Then just the meetings I attended, the work session, the regular meeting. There was not an HSP executive committee meeting this month. And then, of course, I watched the candidate forum.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilman Huffman.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Public Works highlights for the past month include, it's that time of the year when mowing and pollen creation and generation is in full force.
I agree.
Public Works has been mowing all the town property, string trimming, and weed spraying. Public Works has also started picking up yard waste on the scheduled days, and so far everything has been going as planned. In early April, the town had its semi-annual bulk trash collection. Public Works had the Gear Lane facility ready for the residents to safely dispose of their bulk trash items. A little more than 2 dumpsters were filled. You may have noticed that Public Works did a great job cleaning up the town-owned property. That's the 1321 New Windsor Road coming in to town on the Frederick side of Route 31. Public Works removed trees, vegetation, and cement, making the property ready for future use. You may have also noticed the installation of a Welcome to New Windsor sign, which is a nice addition to the landscape there. We had several storms lately, and Public Works cleaned up the town roadways and property after each one. Public Works has been filling in potholes around town. Please call Town Hall to report any potholes that need to be filled. Public Works has all the necessary items ready for Town Beautification Day. So as long as everything cooperates this Saturday, Public Works will have everything in place for a successful day for us. The Planning Commission, we did meet in April. The Planning Commission approved the spring 2025 Carroll County Water and Sewer Master Plan amendments. I want to thank Town Manager Dye and Public Works Director Myers for the work that they did on the New Windsor section of the document. The Planning Commission had a lengthy discussion and voted on extractions and inclusions to the town's growth area boundary. The council, you all will be briefed on changes when the Planning Commission provides you with the updated comprehensive plan. At that point, the document will go through the council process. The next scheduled meeting is Monday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. The meeting was moved from the May 26th date due to the holiday. And some councilman highlights: I participated in all the monthly town council and planning commission scheduled meetings, attended the monthly state highway administration virtual meeting on the town streetscape project, and also, as Mayor Root mentioned, attended the in-person meeting on the project on May 1st. And I met with Public Works Supervisor Tobry several times to discuss projects and strategies.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Water and sewer, Councilman Hall.
So one of the big highlights from this month, it was the pump station out near 7-Eleven. If you noticed, there was some grading done. The diesel generator was installed. One of the fun facts about that station was it was our only propane-based system, which was less reliable than the diesel generators. So now that has a diesel generator, they have paved in there, and it looks like they're starting to work on the fencing. So nearing completion there. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Public safety and health, Councilman Cornick.
Yes, good evening. Thank you to the residents who are attending in person and those online. I do have a brief report for the meeting tonight. Events and meetings attended for the month were the scheduled town council and work session meetings on the 2nd and the 21st. Public safety and health notes. Have an upcoming meeting for the Opioid Prevention Coalition meeting on the 14th of May at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and that's at the Carroll County Health Department. Also, Sykesville Police Department is holding an open house on May 17th from 2 to 5, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's a medication and sharps take back. I know that the county had one, I believe, on the 14th of April, which is a similar take back. It's basically prescription drugs and medication or needles sharps take back. So it's a place where you can drop off all medications. So this one in the town of Sykesville is on the 17th from 2 to 5, and it's at 7551 Townhouse Drive in Sykesville, Maryland. I also have a monthly overdose report provided by the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Overdoses for the month of April decreased. They were 10 overdoses for the month of April. There's a decrease of 44% when compared to March of the previous month that had a total of 18. So that's very good news. Overdoses also decreased by 47.4% when compared to March of 2024. Those numbers were, like I said, 18, and then March of 2024, they were 19. So, I'm sorry, the overdoses for April of this year were 10 versus 19 of last year. Overdose fatalities decreased 33%. Unfortunately, there were 2 deaths due to overdose in April. Compared to March, there were 3. So there was a slight decrease. One is too many, as we all know. Overdose fatalities increased 100% when compared to April of 2024. That's just a brief overview of the report that we get at the Opioid Prevention Coalition meeting. Also, I have some really good news that was made aware of by Public Works Director Myers today, or yesterday. Public safety and health notifications. We received from the Maryland Department of Transportation, State Highway Administration, a notice regarding our request to adjust the speed limits on Maryland Route 31. This request was to enhance public safety for pedestrians and vehicles in the Snyder Summit and Blue Ridge Manor area. After a review of the request and analysis of the roadway design, MDOT SHA came back with the following adjustments. Westbound heading into town, the 40-mile-per-hour speed limit will begin east of Slingoff Road. The 30-mile-per-hour speed limit will begin east of Townview Circle. So essentially what they're going to do is there's an existing speedway of 40 miles per hour that happens after Slingoff Road. They're going to push it back so that people begin to slow down sooner. I'll tell you why that's significant. Well, it's always significant, but I'll bring something up later. These changes are designed to encourage drivers to slow down sooner. Eastbound heading out of town, the 55 mile per hour east of town zone will be moved beyond Sling Off Road. Currently, it starts before Sling Off Road. The changes will promote enhanced safety for key intersections near the Townview Circle, Old New Windsor Pike, and will also enhance safety for school bus riders. That's a big key. If we push that 55 mile per hour zone back beyond Sling Off Road, headed into Westminster, the trucks that we see trying to floor it to get up the hill are going to have reduced speed. This is a big accomplishment on our part, and thank you to Public Works Director Myers for initiating this, and along with Deputy Kevin McGinnis. It'll also reduce the noise in that area. I mean, I can hear it, and I live, a couple blocks away from it, but the trucks revving up their engines to get up that hill is a thing. My biggest concern is the kids that get off of that school bus at Townview Circle. 3 o'clock, in the morning, elementary school kids, and if you've ever stood on that corner of Slinghoff and 31, people whip through there. Try riding a bike across there. I feel like I'm playing a whack-a-mole or whatever that game is to try to get across 31 because of the speed of the traffic at certain times. So again, this is a significant change in our ongoing challenge to try to lower speeds coming in and out of town. And that's the end of my report.
Thanks. Economic Development, Councilman Frock.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Have a pretty short one. I attended the council meeting on 4/2, attended the Lions Club Easter egg hunt on the 19th. Thank you for putting that on. Attended the council work session on the 21st. Continued working with Public Works Director Myers regarding the truck fleet replacement, appraisal values, new truck estimates, and working on what schedule would be best for that. I met with a local business owner to discuss their concerns, desires, and admirations of the town, what we're doing, what would help, what they would like to see in the future. And continuing to work with Circuit Rider Reynolds on funding sources to expand the walking trails in areas around town. And we have more to discuss on that later this evening.
Thank you. Town Manager Dodd.
A few things, we got a lot on the agenda. Maryland 31 Main Street and High Street paving, just a reminder that C.G. Miller is scheduled to start milling and overlaying paving on Main Street and High Street in the next 2 weeks. The limits are from the railroad tracks at Lampard Avenue to Townview Circle at Snyder Summit. Additionally, they're going to be doing the High Street extended, the bypass from Main to Maryland 75, Green Valley Road, and back to Main Street. So that's going to be starting here soon. And letter to Seasons at Magnolia was sent certified mail and received April 28th. We've not received any response to the letter. And Kim Hershey has followed up twice via email. And a copy of that final version is in tonight's folder if you want to take a look at that.
Thank you. Public Works Director Myers.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing quite a bit of talking under old business, so I'm going to keep mine pretty short. Everything's flowing in the right direction. No water leaks reported. The Brook water line project is completed, including all the service laterals. Blue Ridge Pump Station is base paved. Final paving is tomorrow, and then the fence goes up. And we're near the completion, near the final stages of that site. And that's all I have until we get to old business.
Thank you. Community Deputy.
Where's the mic?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. We got quite of a. I might need a drink of water halfway through this one because this is a pretty long one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blame the pollen too because I might not get through it so easily, but that's okay. Between April 2nd, 2025 and May 7th, 2025, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office received 58 calls for service within the town of New Windsor. Out of those calls for service, 13 were found to be reportable. On 4/2/2025 at 3 p.m., a domestic incident was reported in the 100 block of High Street. Upon arrival, deputies observed a juvenile having mental health crisis. The juvenile was transported to Carroll Hospital Center for professional care, and this case was closed. On 4/9/2025 at 3:15 p.m., a Social Security check was reported stolen in the 400 block of Church Street. The victim advised they noticed that the check was short approximately $350. When they investigated, it was found that the check was shipped to a Brooklyn, New York address, and that case is still open. On 4/10/2025 at 4:55 p.m., a motor vehicle violation occurred on Maryland 75 and High Street. The deputy spotted the vehicle passing on the shoulder and overtaking another vehicle in front of it, which was traveling at a reasonable constant speed. Prior to the deputy's ability to catch up to the vehicle, a collision occurred because of this violation. The driver and occupant of the passing vehicle was issued citations in accordance with the observed violations. On 4/11/2025 at 2:58 p.m., a fraud was reported in the 300 block of High Street. A tax return was mailed along with a check and never found its intended location. The check was written with an approximate value of $2,000 and was withdrawn from the account to an unknown person. Case open for further investigation. On 4/14/2025 at 4:28 p.m., deputies responded to the 300 block of Church Street for a mental health crisis. The subject was ultimately taken into custody and transported to Carroll Hospital Center for further professional care. Case closed. On 4/15/2025 at 2:15 p.m., a fraud report was filed in the 800 block of Green Valley Road. The complainant advised that a check was completed for insurance purposes, however, when mailed, was sent to a different destination and deposited to a person he doesn't know. The check was approximately $23,000. On 4/18/2025 at 2:25 p.m., a fraud report was followed in the 2700 block of Rowe Road. Online accounts were charged, which were linked to credit cards. No value was stolen, however, information was obtained. Personal information was believed to be obtained. Case documented and suspended. On 4/21/2025 at 10:39 p.m., sheriff's units were dispatched to the 300 block of Church Street for an overdose. The subject was transported to Carroll Hospital Center for medical care. Case closed. On 4/22/25 at 2:56 p.m., a check welfare was reported in the 100 block of Main Street. A liaison from the Carroll, say that 10 times fast, responded to the address to follow up with the resident. Upon arrival, they could not make contact. Deputies responded and forced entry. Deputies ultimately found the resident awake but disoriented. The subject was transported to Carroll Hospital Center. Case closed. On 4/25/25 at 4:10 p.m., a tobacco violation occurred in the 400 block of High Street. The date of birth was never confirmed, resulting in a tobacco violation citation. Case closed. On 4/27/25 at 8:47 p.m., a subject experiencing a mental health crisis was transported to Carroll Hospital Center for professional care. A crisis intervention team referral was completed in addition to the report. Case closed. On 4/28/25 at 7:10 a.m., a domestic assault was reported in the 300 block of Church Street. A subject was arrested due to evidence of injury to the victim. Case closed by arrest. On 5/1/25 at 1:44 a.m., a malicious destruction of property was reported in the 300 block of Main Street. An argument ensued, resulting in approximately $400 in damages to the vehicle, and this case is open pending charges. On 5/6/25 at 10:16 a.m., a theft was reported in the 300 block of College Avenue. The victim's wallet was stolen from the vehicle overnight, likely on 5/4/25. Camera footage is currently being acquired by the investigating deputy, and case is open. That is by far the longest one I think I've ever had. And I said 13, I think it was 14, so good thing I'm not a banker. But yeah, and real quick, because I wear my heart on my sleeve too, and I don't want to get too emotional, but I just want to thank you both for your time spent here with me. And I know that pollen's really thick, but I know that when I came here, it wasn't like a routine thing. It was everything was a little off, and there was some contentious things going on at that time. But I really appreciate all the open arms that I've got here. You guys have really made me feel at home, and I'm honored to be here and be a part of this organization, town. So yeah, I got through it. But thank you.
We've been real pleased for you having you here. So we'll still be in contact with one another with National Night Out and the Lions Club. So
I very much appreciate that.
we'll still be seeing each other. Trust me.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate all you guys do for National Night Out. We really wouldn't have the event we have without you, so thank you for that. All right,
Thank you.
appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
West Carroll Rec Council, they will be doing they'll have their funnel cake stand at the carnival, which is May 20th through the 24th. And I take it you'll be staffing that from time to time?
No, actually, I've graduated to ice cream stand.
Oh,
So.
All right. Very good. All right. Fire chief, their money bonanza with Harney Fire Department is Saturday, May 17th. Hopefully you have a ticket for that. If not, it's sold out. That's one of their biggest fundraisers. And then also Carnival, May 24th. And lunch is served Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 1. Come out and help. There's a lot of opportunities to volunteer in the food stands and different stands, or come help the Lions Club with the ticket booth and the pretzel stand, and also raffle sales. And this year we're going to have a little putting green for the kids to play. It'll be free. You'll putt until you win. That way they'll get a little glow stick or something. But you know, it's a great bargain compared to other amusement parks and everything. But it can a family of 3 or 4 can be a little pricey sometimes. So we feel we'll have a game for the kids to play for free, and they'll be able to play a game. So hopefully that helps enhance the stay at the New Windsor Carnival. One of the reasons why, and there's many reasons why you come out to support the New Windsor Fire Department at their carnival, is on April 14th, the fire department membership decided to approve the purchase of a new fire truck. And that purchase is over $1 million for the new fire truck, which will take about 4 years to get here. However, you know, that's a lot of fundraisers that they need to be able to pay for that. So come out and support the fire company. We have 3 members here tonight. Any other comments from the fire department? We've had a great relationship, and I look for that to continue. We are blessed here in New Windsor to have the organizations we have, and they all work together. So thank you for all your time and sacrifices you guys make. Thank you.
Thank the town too for, you know, mayor and council people for all they've done for us over the years. Always been there if we need some equipment or something over from your public works department once in a while, and provide us with some salt in the winter time if we need it. Just want to thank all of them. Thank you for your service, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
For all your years.
Thank you. And we have 2 council members back here, 3 council members that I'm seeing. So it's been a team effort. I might have the leadership, but couldn't do it without everybody. So thank you. Treasurer's report.
All right, for the work session meeting, the $250,000 that matured at Sandy Springs Bank was put into a CD with Farmers and Merchants. The original report said 5 months at 4% APY. It actually changed to 5 months at 4.25%. So we had a little bit extra there. And then last thing, Election Day is May 13th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. here at Town Hall.
Thank you. Water sewer billing clerk.
Quarterly water bills were due last week. Working on delinquent reports this week. We'll have numbers by Friday afternoon, and I will email them to you guys for review, but I'll have everything together in the report. From last council meeting, I sent 11 letters to accounts that were severely delinquent, significantly delinquent. I've had 9 responses. They've either paid it off or agreed to the payment plan, and a couple door hangers, unfortunately. But hopefully they come through before, you know, anything bad happens. So, but if you need any help, please call me. I'm willing to work with you. Pay your water bill. Work with me.
Thank you. Code enforcement officer, anything from Joe?
Yeah, I got her report. It's travel baseball season. Her older son's playing ball. One complaint in March, there was a parking ordinance and enforcement issue for Townview Circle. some updates, continuing with abandoned, untagged, inoperable vehicles in town. 1 letter in follow-up status pending investigation. 4 letters to be sent out. We did get a tag system that appears to be working well. It was something that we signed up for. It's free. Just had to register and everything, and now we have the ability to run registration and tags through the system. That's going to help us out. Letter we use with the use of tag system being prepared. She has a running Excel list of abandoned vehicles and things she's keeping track of, and the vehicle pending letters in somewhat of a shuffle as the residents have complied or vehicles have been moved. And just a couple notes, just let her know of any locations or concerns or complaints. And if you have received a letter from Joan, it would be more beneficial to your specific situation if you'd reach out to her upon receipt so we can discuss ways to amend the issue as opposed to not responding or acknowledging receipt of notice or issues at all. And she's available by email any time of the day. So that's her report.
Thank you. Heidelberg Materials update. Tonight we have Plant Manager Walter Smith with us. Nice to have you here. If you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit broader than that. I know you've met some of the council members. Stand up. Huh? Well, if you get a microphone, that way everybody here can hear you, but the people at home.
Can I get a?
Yes, there you go.
I'm not good in front of a microphone, really. Greetings to everyone. I'm not from the Northeast, not from Maryland or Pennsylvania or anywhere close to here. I'm from Texas. So, give me a little bit of latitude. The first thing I'd like to say, I guess, for a Heidelberg update is I am the newest plant manager. Previous plant manager was there for about 11 months. But the real big news right now, unfortunately, is we had a loss of life last week with an employee that got in an accident on one of the back roads close to the quarry. Tommy Eiler, one of our really the pollen. Yeah, it is the pollen. One of our long-term employees passed away in a motorcycle accident, left behind 2 children and a wife. And as you can imagine, those things hit our plant pretty deeply. I've only been here months. It's a family. And that's kind of how I treat the local government.
It's contagious.
The way I lead my plant is to be good corporate citizens, to do the right thing, even when it's hard. So some of the initiatives that we have going on to better the New Windsor community is to eliminate some of the truck traffic from the stone that goes back and forth. When the plant was first developed, it wasn't considered that we would shift to an eco cement, which means that we have to put a certain amount of limestone into our cement. So that means in the past 2 years, 2 to 2.5 years probably, we've had 80 to 90 trucks a day traveling back and forth between New Windsor and Union Bridge. This is in addition to the 5-mile overhead or under and overland conveyor. So what our initiative is in 2026 is to eliminate that truck traffic by extending some belts and trying to work with the community to run that stone within the hours that we're allowed to, and basically eliminate the truck traffic, because the truck traffic is a big issue. I mean, I wish I could advocate for everyone being, they get paid, as you can imagine, they're paid to haul a certain amount of stone. The more they can haul, the more they get paid. So with that, if we can eliminate that, we reduce that truck traffic, we better the roads, we reduce a lot of emissions. That's a big initiative for us. So it's going to cost us about $1.2 million. There's no payback other than not trucking it. So with that, it will pay off. but it's not really a payoff initiative. It's just, this is the right thing to do. So in addition to that, we're also looking at, and we've had community council meetings. It's not been a secret about trying to get natural gas into the plant to reduce coal. We want to reduce our coal usage. So natural gas is kind of that next tier. It's a little bit cleaner than coal, but not great. But the ultimate goal is to go to like 50% alternative fuel usage. So you might ask, what does that mean? Alternative fuel is like stuff that people will throw away or landfill, but it actually emits cleaner emissions than coal. For example, the biggest emissions that our plants put out from a cement perspective is CO2. So CO2 is the highest emission we have. Our company has a goal to reduce that by 2040 to 90% reduction by 2040, 100% reduction by 2050. That's a big goal. And it will only happen if we get some alternative fuels, things that you would normally landfill, things that don't sound great, but they actually emit less emissions than coal. So it won't necessarily reduce CO2, which is the biggest emissions. That's going to be kind of a carbon capture. So if you wanted to search something like carbon capture in cement, you'll get the technology, and Heidelberg will be at the top to get you an idea of what that looks like. It's basically capturing the CO2, pumping it into the ground, and storing it, and it basically regenerates into more limestone. So it's cool technology. Is it proven? I don't know. I'm a guy from southern Louisiana, so we'll see, right? I'm not going to tell you something I don't know is 100% true if I don't know it's 100% true. One thing I like about Neil is that when I first met him, he's kind of like, he doesn't buy into like all the hypocrisy. So I appreciated that, and I look forward to working with whoever comes after you. So from that perspective, Heidelberg and Lehigh is here for the long term. I plan to be here for a little bit longer than 11 months, which was my predecessor's target. But cement plants have a lot of turnover, and unfortunately, even though we're a big family, we lose people. But my goal is to do the utmost best for the community. And I hate that it's taken this long to get in front of your constituents, but thank you Neil has invited me multiple times and reminded me. I'm like, oh, well, this came up and that came up, but well, Southern folks are slow. So I appreciate your attention, and if you have any questions, I'm here for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna run.
Just a couple of comments. His predecessor was only here 11 months due to a promotion, not anything negative. It was a promotion up to Allentown. So, and then we got Walter here. But just a little background with our affiliation with Lehigh and Heidelberg. 3 years ago, they made a donation of $25,000 for Fountain Park. And then just recently, you've made a commitment of $20,000 over 2 years for the Rescue to Restoration Project. And early in my time as mayor, we had the water agreement signed and also the sale of Seibel's Fields, with the understanding that we would be able to lease them for $1 a year. And I'm not sure exactly when that took place, but that was almost $700,000. And with that $1 a year, I'm not exactly sure, but since it's been 16 years since I took over as mayor, Here's $16.
First of all, can't accept cash. Or now he's on video.
All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Treasurer?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Dana?
14,
I thought to give it to you in pennies, but it's okay.
Put that into a check and sign it and send it to Heidelberg for 16 years. So thank you.
Man of his word.
I will say this, for us, look, for me, it's not about dollars, it's not about cents, it's about what makes sense. And doing right by the community, there's several things that we have to fix. Some of it's dust emissions, some of it's the road traffic and the dust that's emitted by the trucks. There's all these things that we recognize, and all you have to do is get in touch with our office, get my phone number. It's public information, so if you have an issue, if anyone has an issue, give me a call. We'll solve the problem. We're here for the community. It's not about dollars.
And to tag along on that, for years, whether Kent Martin was there, or I went to Vince Campanella, who worked with their staff for many years. All I had to do was make a phone call. Usually when I saw something negative on Facebook that they were being blamed for, make a phone call, it was addressed right away. So they've been very responsive over the years. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Now's your chance. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. New business, adoption of fiscal year 26 budget per ordinance 04-02-25. We've talked about that many times. Do I hear a motion to adopt fiscal year 26 budget?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt fiscal year 26 budget per ordinance 04-02-25. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? So carried. Again, thank you, staff. Circuit rider renewal documents.
Okay, so Circuit Rider Mike Reynolds provided 4 documents which are in tonight's folder. In a subfolder, there's the MOA, the Assurances Agreement, a Resolution 050725, and Letter of Support. If the council wishes to continue participating in the Maryland Circuit Rider Program, motions needed to adopt and sign Resolution 050725 and sign the supporting documents.
I understand that, Mr. Dye, what do we pay, or you know, what do we
It's
pay?
in the support letter. It's $12.50 a year.
$1,1250 for a part-time position to help write grants, help staff, and different things, do research on funding. So for $1,250, I think it's a great partnership that we have with the state of Maryland. So do I hear that we approve ordinance 05-07-25?
Is that an ordinance?
Resolution.
Resolution, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 05-07-25 to extend the circuit rider for the fiscal year 2026.
I'll second.
We have a motion second to approve resolution 05-07-25. Any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So carried. I have one other new business. I just received an email today, and I'll forward this on to town staff. It's regarding program open space. We are in the next cycle, and looks like estimated unofficially, Carroll County's program open space allocation for fiscal year 2020 should be 6 is unofficially estimated to be $691,395. This would result in a total of $129,636, which is 25% of the allocation, being allocated to the municipalities, with each of the 4 towns receiving $32,409. That's way down from previous years. These funds may be used towards either acquisition or development projects, which we have done in the past. And the request forms need to be in their office by May 30th. The towns receiving for fiscal year 26 are New Windsor, Town, Union Bridge, and Westminster. So I will forward that.
Break down to per?
What's that?
What's the breakdown to per municipality?
32, 409.
Wow.
Now, one suggestion, I won't say it's a recommendation, but one suggestion is, depending on what the numbers are in the future, because we've received, what was the last time, over 100?
I believe so.
117 or something?
A little bit over 100.
Yeah. So that's quite a drop. And I'm guessing that's because of cuts that were made to the state budget. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's just the kind of my feeling. However, whether or not, all the municipalities want to go in together, but just allocate it every 2 years. Now you can, I think, accumulate funds up to a certain amount of time, so there's not a lot you can do. I'm not saying we can't do some improvements for 32,000 for any major project. It's not going to happen. And then also, just to let people know about program open space, we usually pay, 5% of the project. The county pays 5%. So at that $600,000 that we've received from program open space, we've paid, very, very, very little. 10% would be $60,000. So $30,000 for all the projects that we have improved on. So I'll forward that email to you, and the new president of MML will have to take the leadership role and approve some of the projects and everything. Any other new business? Old business, water sewer rate resolution finalized.
You want to bring that up? Should be a version in there. So the tiered water sewer rate system with adjusted base rates and usage rates was adopted at the March 17th work session meeting. I can go over the breakdown if anyone wants to. Attorney Ostrander prepared a draft resolution, and she and I have met and made some revisions to that. It's in tonight's folder. I sent it to the mayor and council ahead of time for review. Some of the things we want to discuss there is the things noted. For the actual, there's a resolution.
The resolution,
Yeah.
okay.
I highlighted just the things we were putting in. And I also added in, as part of that resolution, the area connection fees, which I believe should be part of that. I think at the work session, which I was not in attendance, the council approved the no annual increase in the water and sewer base and usage rates, and the direction was to review those actual figures from FY26 and make a decision during budget preparation each year. And I believe you are all in favor of continuing the 3% increase on the water and sewer area connection fees, which you see highlighted there. Those are inflated. That goes out from 25 to 29. So any other discussions on that? Everything's straightforward on that.
And that would be resolution 0507-25A. Any questions or comments? Councilman Frock, any comment? Thank you for your hard work. That's good. Questions, comments, or adopt resolution 0507-25A?
I make a motion that we accept resolution 0507-25A.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second to adopt resolution 05-07-25A. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
A lot to sign, Mayor.
All right.
Waiting for comments.
Vehicle replacement program, truck purchase and sales.
Yeah. Okay, it's 8 o'clock and respect everybody's time. I'm gonna try to push through this. We'll have you out of here by 10.
10 after 8.
Okay.
Finish that.
Brief summary. Okay, so there are 4 documents up for review in the mayor and council folder. This highlights those particular 4 documents, other than questions and answers. Public Works was tasked by the council to provide values on our current fleet and pricing of new vehicles to determine the viability of vehicle replacement on a scheduled cycle. The town's vehicle replacement program is a proactive approach to fleet management and designed to maintain safe, reliable, and cost-effective town vehicle fleet and equipment. Vehicles are rotated on a planned schedule to achieve the following goals: maximize resale value, reduce unscheduled repairs and downtime, enhance safety and readiness, and optimize the use of public funds. So just a little bit of a recap on the used vehicle sales with the town of New Windsor. Typically, we keep vehicles for around 8 to 10 years or longer. We found that the value for the vehicles when we resell them significantly decreases to the point where we're kind of selling them really cheap. And so it was suggested that we look into this program and sell the vehicles while they retain value. As everyone knows, our vehicles are plow vehicles and used in public works maintenance activities. The salt's very corrosive, plowing's very hard on them, and when we keep them for an extended period of time, they lose a greater amount of value. Okay, so the 2021 Ford F-250 with the STX package, the original purchase price in 21 was $49,020. And that was including all the snow removal equipment, a plow, a salt box, and the upfit of the lights. That vehicle is currently worth $37,150. The town would retain the snowplow equipment and transfer it to a new truck. And the estimated value of the used equipment is $15,000. This is not a typical case as far as the resale value, because that particular truck was bought during COVID. The town gets municipal cooperative purchasing discounts, and we had some rare package items on that truck, particularly the STX package. In that particular package, there were some features on that vehicle that weren't available to the general public. So that's why the resale is there. The 2023 Ford F-250 XLT Premium, we never upfitted, but it's budgeted to be upfitted. The original purchase price in 23 was $54,440, and the top bid that we received was $52,000 after 2 years of use. Depreciation over 2 years is only $2,040. So this is unseen in the regular vehicle market under the current conditions of inflation and after COVID. The town receives significant discounts when we purchase vehicles through the state contract. Therefore, our vehicles hold greater value. In theme and in line with what the council requested, we went and got some additional pricing to replace the fleet should the council decide to sell the vehicles at their optimum value. Councilman Frock put together a spreadsheet about truck rotation that was very extensive, and it basically highlighted the best time to sell the vehicles and get into a new vehicle. And based on these numbers, it looks as if we're right around 2 to 4 years, I believe. Is that what it is, Councilman Frock? Yeah. About, replacing vehicles. So we received the price and approved the purchase of a 2025 F-250 single cab for $68,250. It included the upfit of a plow, spreader, and safety lighting, and we procured it through the Maryland State cooperative purchasing contract. So that truck's on the way, and that's to replace the 2013. We also received recently a price on crew cab truck XLT base with just safety lights for $64,121.18, and an XLT premium with safety lights for $69,230. And the XL premium has a higher resale value compared to the XLT base. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, the town's trucks are upfitted with aluminum wheels and options that a lot of municipalities don't have. That's why we're retaining more value when we're selling them. So rather than just hit the municipal market, a very small market, we're able to sell to a larger market. So that's a key point. Snow removal equipment can last anywhere from 7 to 10 years or longer. We have upfitted the vehicles with very high quality commercial equipment like we've never used before. We were using, straight blades instead of V-plows, and we've upfitted the vehicles with stainless equipment as opposed to painted, lower grade, lower quality equipment. And we're seeing the benefits from that, and that's transferable. As an example, the 2013 Chevy went through 2 salt spreaders and 2 plows, whereas the 08 plow got transferred to the 2022 larger truck that we have. That's still in our fleet. Removing the equipment from the old vehicle to the new vehicle, or removing the equipment from the old vehicle is $600. Installing the equipment onto the new vehicle from the old vehicle is $900. This is based on electrical configurations like headlight modules and things of that nature that are required to do that. Given if the council so chooses to replace equipment on a vehicle replacement program, due to potential delivery delays, the town may need to retain the current fleet temporarily. So we're looking for direction from the council as far as what to do. But I'll give you guys some figures real quick. Again, the 2021 F-250, the highest bid that we received was $37,150. The second highest bid we received was $37,000. The 2023 F-250, the highest bid that we received was $52,000, and the second highest bid was $50,000. So the total value for both of those trucks is $89,150. So $89,150. That would come off the purchase price of the 2 vehicles if we decided to do this. The bottom line is the cost of the 3 trucks would be $112,459 with option A, which is the XLT premium with safety lights and 1 XLT base. And then you would divide, hold on, I'm skipping around here. Got a lot of information here. Okay, the total revenue from sales would be $87,150. So we, just for example, we have an option A, and that's to purchase a XLT premium with safety lights and an XLT base. It would be a total of $133,351.36. If you take off the amount that we get from the other vehicles, it's $44,201.36. And then option B would be XLT premium, 2 of those at $69,230.18, with the final price being $138,460. You take off the amount that we get for the trucks, it's $49,310.36. Is the out-of-pocket expenses. And so we're looking for direction from the council on, if you're interested in any options, interested in the fleet program, if we want to purchase 2 additional trucks or keep, the trucks that we have, or, kind of what do we want to do?
The first question I have is, we got the 2 XLT premium and base. Is either one of those ready to go now, or is that something that we would have to order and then wait for?
No, so everything on here we would have to order. So through the municipal contract, we get priority as far as delivery. So I was told from Apple Ford, who is on the state contract, that we could expect delivery in 6 to 10 weeks is what the delivery time is.
Question?
I have a question, and Michelle, it kind of heads your way. The 21, we are selling to town hall contractor, so I would assume that's maybe someone that works for us in the winter plow and snow that gave us an offer on that truck. And my question is there, it puts more money into the town, I see that, but is there any ethical concerns, any issues we have with selling town property to someone that potentially works for the town?
And actually, that question has come up. And I think the answer to that is it all depends, lawyer answer. But if you are selling it to a town employee for fair market value, for the same thing you would sell it to from, Joe Blow down the street who put in an offer, if it's a legitimate offer within the range of fair market value or however the heck you determine the value on these things, I don't have a concern about that at all.
And just for clarification, that's our paving.
No, that's the second truck. Okay, so there are several documents here. And so I'm just gonna have to take the time to go through this for clarity. So there's a document labeled WM Bids Fleet Values, all right? This particular document has all the breakdown, everybody that put in a bid. And this is the most important part for transparency. Len Stoller Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram put in a bid of $36,500 for the 21. Heritage Honda put in a bid of $32,000. Len Stoller put in a bid of $36,500. Kraus Ford put in a bid of $36,600. Apple Ford put in a bid of $37,000. Hilo Auto put in a bid of $36,750. Frederick Ford put in a bid of $34,000. And the town call contractor is actually our roofer that put in a bid for $37,150. On the 2023, we decided to narrow the folks that we were going to based on the values that they presented to us. In other words, some dealerships owned other dealerships, and it was a non-compete thing. And then basically some of the offers were under fair market value. So we didn't feel that it was a value of our time to go back to those folks when they gave us extremely low offers. So with the 2023 F-250, Len Stoller Dodge Jeep Ram gave us a price of $50,000. Apple Ford gave us a price of $47,200. Hilo Auto gave us a price of $46,000, and the town paving contractor gave us a price of $52,000. Kraus Ford gave us a price of $46,000. We originally purchased the truck off Kraus Ford in 23 for $54,000, and their bid is $46,000. So that's why their bid's lower there. They know what we paid for it. So basically,
These were all sealed bids, correct?
they were not sealed bids. We went to the dealerships. We got prices from the dealerships on the vehicle trade-in values and cash values, and that's how we did it.
Any other questions or comments or motions?
How long are these bids good for?
So, that could be an issue. And that's why if we decided to go with this, I would recommend going to a backup bidder. If the first guy drops out, go to the backup bidder. For reference, one truck is $150 apart. The second truck is $2,000 apart.
Which, I mean, I'm fine with the difference isn't an issue there. My worry is that, say we agree to purchase this new vehicle, it takes 8 weeks, say it takes 12 weeks with delays, and then the bid comes back $10,000 less. Like, if we had, I know most is 30 days, but I didn't know if we'd be confident going 8 weeks.
I'm pretty confident based on our interactions with the dealerships particularly, that they're gonna honor their bid. And mileage at this point doesn't matter to them. Their mileage is not even a factor because our vehicles are low mileage because we're just running them around town. The only thing that I could foresee is if we had an accident with one of the vehicles or something like that. That would be the worst case scenario because most of the bids are in line with each other with the exception of the 23, which is 2,000 apart from the second highest. Everybody else is within that range. And in the, I believe it was the work session meeting, I presented the Kelly Blue Book value of a private sale. In some cases, we're above that. So we're above the fair market value of both vehicles, honestly. So this is a really good opportunity. Again, the reason why the town has this opportunity is because of using a cooperative purchasing contract. We can retain more value than a private citizen going in to buy something at a car lot. We're already under MSRP plus a discount. And that's how we're able to do this because we all know that personally when we buy a vehicle, you pull it off the lot, you lost $5,000 or $10,000 the first day you buy it.
So I guess where I'm sitting on this is it looks like, I mean, we've already agreed to purchase one truck. That's off the book. So we have 2 trucks we're thinking about. And to take advantage of the least amount of depreciation that we could get would be to buy those trucks now. And it looks like we need to come up with about $49,000, maybe almost 50, depending, to be able to do this. So on paper, this looks great for this go round. For this go around. Need to know where we're going to come up with the $50K to pull this off right now. And then secondly, I know we don't know the answer, but where does this put us in 2 or 3 years when we go to replace these? Are we, you know, the spreadsheets you put together with the optimal time, we're almost getting on the schedule to replace all 3 of them, or we start to, you know, in 2 years and then 3 years or something like that. But we got to come up with a lot of money to do that right now, and then potentially in the future, every 2 or 3 years, come up with a large sum of money. It's certainly, I believe, better than running the trucks into the ground and having zero. Where we've been or very little. This keeps our fleet healthy, but we need to get the money straight to be able to pull this off. So
the money for the truck that was already agreed to is being pulled out of fiscal year budget 25, and we have that breakdown. It's a 50-50 split between general and enterprise. the $50,000 that we're talking about now, that would fall in fiscal year 26, and we have a capital
We have
budget
it
line
60,000
already at
for
$60,000.
truck in fiscal
So
year
it
26.
is covered with a $10,000 cushion, which treasurers like.
I would
So that takes that money.
comment that this purchase this year would probably eliminate the side-by-side out of
Yes,
that
correct.
60,000.
Yes, side by side is off the table
27.
for this moment in time, yes. For now and for fiscal year 26.
ETV.
So
Yeah,
you're
well,
confirming that you said move that out to fiscal year 27?
that's where it currently is at the moment, yes.
And Dave, for your second comment about where we're gonna be in 2 years, if truck prices skyrocket, then the council at that time says, we either can't do this, or we shouldn't do this, or used values plummet, but new prices go up, and we just readjust at that point, or we reevaluate at that point. But we were able to take advantage of very minimal depreciation at this stage.
And it's still, even, we can't predict what the truck prices are gonna do in the next couple of years, but buying the higher end vehicles will definitely, and if we keep them shorter time frames, it's proven, based on what, all the research that Wayne's done, and he's done a lot of work on this, and what he's projecting the resale value on these new trucks to be, it's still a better situation spending, you're gonna be spending less money on vehicles than you would if you're letting them, running them in the ground and buying them new at 75,000 or whatever they're gonna cost in a couple of years.
And remember that tires every 2 years are 1,000 plus, 1,500 per truck.
And this rotational cycle would keep us under factory warranty every time. There would be no out-of-pocket expenses for the town whatsoever outside of regular oil changes and service.
So doing this now avoids any potential tariffs if they come about?
Correct, and that's something else I wanted to touch on. So there's expected tariffs to come in that's gonna affect the 26 Ford trucks, which is sometime after July. They don't know how much additional cost it's gonna add to the vehicles. Ford believes that it's a temporary situation. However, they have to pass it on to the consumer.
So in line with that same question about avoiding the tariffs, if we put the order in June and we get our 6 to 8 weeks, is there a potential change in the price due to tariffs after the order is in? I know that sounds like a silly question, but anything's possible, I guess.
Should be. Because usually tariffs go by the date that it was sent. So if it was built in, let's say, Canada,
Right.
and it was sent the day before the tariff, but it only gets to US the day after, no tariff. But if it gets sent the day of the tariff or later, you're paying it.
Do we have agreement, do we have any way of guaranteeing that?
The only way to guarantee it is to make a decision relatively quickly.
To get it before.
Because when they're gonna be talking about 26s and they're gonna shut down production of the 25s. And that's gonna be the issue. And then automatically, if we're trying to position it in a way where it comes out of July's budget perfectly and align that timing, it might be tough. So that would be another question for the clerk treasurer. Suppose the council made a decision to purchase, how would we handle that if the truck was delivered prior to the fiscal year, July?
We'd have to take it out of capital reserve. And since we're not, since it's not gonna be in the budget for fiscal year, it essentially would be a wash. But you would see it in a fiscal year 25, the final numbers. And then you would see the decrease in fiscal year 26, because we potentially wouldn't spend that money. Again, if an emergency happens, then you're pulling that money.
So if it's pulled out of fiscal year 25,
It's gonna come from your.
then that 60,000 should be put into the reserve
Replenish.
and be zero,
Yeah.
you'd have to have a budget amendment.
For 26.
Yeah.
16, 26.
Something else to keep in mind is the town operates off of intent to purchase agreements. If I send over an intent to purchase and we align that right, there's no out-of-pocket expenses until we receive delivery of the truck. So that could be a timing thing.
Because you're 7 weeks right now.
Yeah, if we say we intend to purchase at this date and we push the date forward to where we know the delivery time, we can accept the truck around July too, if that's a cleaner way of doing it. It's not like we're cutting a check immediately once we order the truck.
I'd be pretty surprised if they get us a truck in 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Even still, I don't think it'd be it definitely would be an increase. I don't think it'd be terrible because I think Ford is 80% U.S. and 20% Canada. So we're talking 10% tariff from Canada or Mexico. So yeah, it'll be an increase, but I think that with the $10,000 wiggle room, we should be fine.
And moving forward, rather than have 4 documents to look at, if we have an established program, this will be so much easier. And I apologize for making things confusing when I'm trying to read this, but I've redone the numbers so many times and worked on 4 documents at one time to try to give you guys as much information as I could. And in addition to preparing questions that you might have, so we had the answers. This was very time consuming. Again, if we establish this program and everything works out, this is going to be so much easier and it'll be very easy to budget. The other thing to keep in mind is from 2019 to 2025, all the plow systems are the same, the mounts and everything like that.
On the Fords, right?
On the Fords. So the expenses that we'll have is more like for the modules for the lighting and things like that. Apple's contract through the state, where they're purchasing hundreds of vehicles for the state a day, is good until 2027. If we do our homework right and the contact between Apple and the state is proper, we'll be able to give the council advance notice, hey, the contract's not expected to be renewed, and then we can make a decision at that time. So
you're making a recommendation, we buy 2025 crew cab, XLT premium with safety lights for $69, $230, $18 each.
So I'm going to make a recommendation based on my discussions with Clerk Treasurer Mangus and Town Manager Dye, that we purchase 1 XLT premium for $69,230 and 1 XLT standard for $64,121. The reasoning for this is to see how the market does with either truck. When we go to resell them, see which one has the most resale value as far as our investment and things like that. It's probably the better situation instead of buying 2 premiums. Again, we're very confident in the market. Truck prices are trending up. And just for perspective, the truck that we're talking about, that's the XLT premium, is $80,000 if somebody walks into a dealership and buys it, and we're getting it for the $69,000. The other truck, that's the XLT base, is about $75,000, and we're getting it for $64,121. That's what kind of a deal. And on top of that, $4,000 worth of lighting is being added to the trucks too.
Okay, so council, is anyone willing to make a motion to purchase the 2 vehicles for a total of $133,351.36 from Apple Ford in fiscal year 26, with the understanding that if they come in before July 1st, that it will be taken out of the reserve and replaced in the fiscal year. Does that sound right? I think.
Well, that was a mouthful, but I will make that motion. To approve the one XLT premium and one XLT standard for a total cost of $133,351.36.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. I'm not gonna repeat all that. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, sir.
I do have a question. We may not be able to get a guarantee from the seller of the two vehicles. Is there any way, considering that we're dealing with two contractors that we have agreements with, that we can get an agreement? Because us purchasing these trucks are contingent upon us taking their offer, correct?
Correct.
Can we get an agreement from them stating our intentions to buy that? Because otherwise, we're going to take a hit on the difference between those two.
We can, and the hit would be $2,150 if we had to accept the second bid.
Next one, right.
However, based on the increase in tariffs, I would recommend a second motion authorizing town staff to accept the second bid, if possible, with the intentions of executing an MOU to the highest bidder.
Right. I hear you.
And securing a commitment of whether we want to do 8 weeks, 10 weeks, that they'll honor their bid price.
Okay. Well, on the first motion, my questions have been answered.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? So carried. You want a motion, I guess, to accept the two bids on the 2023 and the, what was the other one? 2021 for the highest confirmed bids from Town Hall contractor on both?
With, I'll make that motion with the amendment of authorizing the second highest bidder in the event that the first bidder backs out.
Yeah, as a contingency for the first one backing out. Yeah.
An established MOU for purchase. Okay.
If you make that motion, I'll second it.
You did.
Okay.
So I have a comment.
Let's hear a second first.
Second.
Second.
Second. All right, comment?
Would it be beneficial to reappraise at, let's say, the top two bidders closer to time of delivery in case there's tariffs or price increases? Because that would affect the used market, and the truck may sell for more to help cover the tariff.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a gamble, I would say, because
Yeah.
yeah, you could secure an extra 2,000, but you could also lose an extra 2,000 if they decide to lower their bid.
Yeah, on the 21, it's
a wash.
Yeah.
not much, but on the 23, you've got a point.
Bird in the hand.
So, all right, good.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So carried. Thank you, Wayne.
Okay, two more things real
You
quick.
weren't
Same
thinking
thing.
about 10 o'clock. You just took 45 minutes. You got 5.
Okay, I can do it. Discussion of the UTV. The town staff recommendation is to postpone the purchase till 2027. We discussed that. And then the sale of the 2013 Chevy. So our recommended action is to have a motion to sell the 2013 Chevy as is with a minimum bid of $2,500. As you might recall, we got a bid from Wance for $2,000. I think it's low. $2,500 would be the starting point, but we would provide bidders with the inspection report. So we could probably get anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 for the truck, is what I'm thinking. So no guarantees, but $2,500 is a start, and right now it's not usable, and it needs $10,000 worth of repairs.
I don't know, we really need a motion, just see what you can get.
I just think it should be on the record that Wayne is authorized to see what he can get.
All right.
With a minimum?
minimum.
However, whatever is the.
And it will be sealed bids on this.
I'll make a motion to advertise the 2013 for sale with a minimum sealed bid of 2,500.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
And one more thing.
Oh, jeez.
You need to get it on the
It's
calendar.
not on the list here.
On the list by the previous Wednesday of the month.
This is all related. Based on all our discussions here and what just happened with the vehicle purchases, can we put it on the record that we are creating a 2 to 4 year vehicle replacement cycle using the Maryland State Cooperative Purchasing Program for future fleet acquisitions to save on cost, procurement time, administrative overhead, using the current Maryland State Program contract expiring in 2027.
Make it so.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Card.
New walking path, first steps.
All right. This kind of goes hand in hand with the project open space funding that you were saying let's find a use for. So I've had a idea in the back of my head to try and connect Atlee to Lower New Windsor and then Blue Ridge to 7-Eleven area, maybe up to Springdale, somewhere in that vicinity. I've talked with Public Works Director Myers and Town Manager Dye about feasibility and next steps. I've reached out to Circuit Rider Reynolds for possible funding opportunities, and we are at the point that he wants a feasibility study and engineering fees, a path forward for that to begin to look into these walking paths. So just for an idea of it, the Blue Ridge path would come out of one of the cul-de-sac ends and go around the stormwater retention pond and then up behind the new pump station and then out somewhere down by 7-Eleven. And then the Atlee Ridge would connect to the current walking path, come across the creek, come across the railroad tracks, and then empty out either by Sulphur Springs or Gear Lane, somewhere in that vicinity. So the town's 100% walkable at that point. You can walk to the carnival from either of the developments, we'll come to the restaurants, etc. So I guess I'm asking for permission to pursue costs and timelines for a feasibility study and engineering fees, and it's more at a council direction for town employees to begin that process. Yeah.
I'd say go for it, and I would go first to Carroll County Parks and Rec and see what they may have staff able to do some of this.
Okay.
That's where I would start, and then if they don't, I'm sure they have recommendations on who to contact.
Right.
We had a consultant years ago for parks, and I forget what that cost, but we weren't real pleased with it. But I would start with Parks and Rec.
So I like the idea of making the towns walkable. My concern is, did we not already address Atlee Ridge, bridge over the creek, and Maryland Midway stopped us from traversing the railroad tracks? I thought we already had looked into that maybe several times, right? We're not going to build a bridge over top of the railroad tracks, and although we could do a bridge over the creek to get from the trail, we're still hampered by that railroad track that I believe that they told us that we could not traverse. And I just don't want to spend money if we've already got that on that. I thought the town addressed that. Anybody else remember that?
Yeah, I do.
There are several private crossings in the town vicinity, let alone across the line of it. I know that those studies or those questions were at least a little while ago. I'd potentially with like the warning signs, the actual lights and the arms that come down, but on like a pedestrian scale, there may be some element that we can come to an agreement with for that. There's a trail out by Hagerstown that just put a bridge over 7 rail lines to accomplish this same feat. I'd like to explore it because my wife and I like to go down to that trail and we have to walk across the railroad tracks and then walk in the road to get down to Alley Ridge instead of driving down. So while not trying to spend money on finding that answer, I'd like to at least begin to explore it again from that perspective. The Alley Ridge side, or the Blue Ridge side, with conversations doesn't seem to be an issue of feasibility. It's just cost, when we want to do it, and where it comes out kind of deal.
I know one option was to build a little walkway along the bridge going out Old New Windsor Road. And we applied many years ago. It was a pedestrian safety grant or something, and it was for like $100,000, and we got turned down. But that might be another option. You have sidewalk almost there. Would have to put more sidewalk from the bridge down both ways, but that might be a little quicker fix than.
And that's definitely been a thought. End of the day, you're still crossing the railroad track on foot.
Right.
So if they have an issue 100 yards down further towards like Sulphur Spring, they'll have an issue with a sidewalk ending at the railroad track. Right. So we still have to cross that hurdle. But yes, that we definitely did think about that because we do have that sidewalk that just kind of ends at the bridge.
I say go for it.
Cool. Thank you.
MOU 211 High Street.
I have to apologize. That pollen, I worked so hard at not having it watering my eyes that I ran out of time to pass that around, which is a small summary of the comments that I got at that time. And so
Thank you.
Everybody can take a look at what everybody else had to say. And we can talk. It's not terribly complex. So drive on that quick. And I'm sorry, I meant to hand it out when I came in the door. I got the data.
Number 3, I think, was already addressed, was it not?
Well, I think the question is who's going to pay for it?
The residents.
No. To create. Oh no, the sewer bill. I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't parse it. This is just what I got.
Okay.
So everybody could see what anybody else had to say.
So who is the technical landlord of that property?
We will be.
Yeah, we would have to be.
We own the
So
building.
we would bill ourselves and then go to the tenants for the water bill? Because the water bills are now going to property owners.
Well, however you want to work that, I think that's, the residents are gonna, the 4 occupants, if there's 4.
Right.
Are gonna pay for the water and sewer.
Just put it in the lease
problem-
that they.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you put it in the lease that the.
There would have to be something, ideally, in the agreement with the fire company that any lease that the fire company had with the tenant would provide that either the tenant pays the fire company or it's included in whatever the rent is. I know one of the concerns that was expressed is that everything that costs should not be borne by the town. And that kind of was.
There won't be any taxes, correct?
Well, there shouldn't be. I don't believe there would be, but again, I just took the 3 emails that I got and put them on this piece of paper.
Where we left off with that at the work session was we just wanted to verify.
Yeah, I don't think there would be.
Status.
So long as the ownership of the property remained.
Right.
Tax exempt.
Right.
All right, everybody want to take a look at this and make recommendations at the work session?
Yeah. I won't be at the work session. I apologize, I'm gonna be out of town. But it won't be that difficult to put this in, but I didn't want to put anything that I just heard from one or two people in until everybody had a time to look at it.
All right. Thank you. Any other old business? If not, any residents' concerns? None?
Not on this piece of paper.
All right. Announcements, Beautification Day and fire hydrant painting this Saturday from 8 to 12. Carnival is May 20 and 24th. Election Day is May 13th, and in the next 2 weeks, paving will start on Route 31 High Street and Main Street. Thank you, everybody. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's coming to an end. But I will cherish the memories of working with many, many people. I apologize for not recognizing people. You know, I could have mentioned Jack Coe 100 times probably, especially when he called me at 12 o'clock at night. We got, come meet me, we got a sewer line problem, that sort of thing. And it was never in 70-degree weather. It was always 32 or below. But we handled it. You know, I like to think I made some good appointments to our planning commission and other BZA, you know, and I'm here for a long time, as Julia Cairns would say. I'm New Windsor born, New Windsor bred, and when I'm going, I'm New Windsor dead. So unless something happens, but there's a few of us like that in town. But thank you for your support, and thank you for everything that everybody did to make New Windsor a great place to live. With that, do I hear a motion for adjournment? I would be honored if Councilman Huffman made the motion, and Councilwoman Schultz seconded.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.